Thank you all for coming to this enormous simcha in our lives and for being in our lives to celebrate with us. A few words of thanks, and then I'll explain the meaning of Michael Uri. First and foremost, Ayala and I would like to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We experienced what we can only describe as open miracles over the past week plus. Situations that seemed like they were going really wrong, and then suddenly at the last second went just fine. It was a master class that Hashem taught us in Yeshuat Hashem Keheraf Ayin, that there's no such thing as the way it goes, is that at any moment Hashem could make things turn around for the best. Without getting into too many details of the story, but Yablok was sick, the baby needed to come out, the baby wasn't coming out. A full day was passing. There was a strong encouragement from the doctor to have a surgery, and literally as the bed was next to Ayala to bring her to surgery, and the surgeon was in the room, and the papers were signed, within 5 minutes the baby came out. That is the Yeshuat Hashem Keheraf Ayin we experienced. Thank you to many people who are not here, who are very dear to us, our parents, Ayala's parents, my parents, our siblings, who literally could not get into this country despite trying in order to be physically with us at the simcha, but that does not take away from their presence here and their love and support for us here. Saba and Safta, Eitan, Lauren, and the kids, Midon, who we were just in touch with hours ago. Thank you for everything you do for us, for everything you've been for us to get us to this day. Abi and Zeta, Ephraim and Ronit, Esther and Shui, Esher and Shira, and all of the families and cousins and kids that are celebrating with us from far away. I also owe a tremendous amount of hakarat hatov to our friends here who have treated us like family, who have been here for us, obsessively asking whatever it is we need and coming to our aid. Also a form of Yeshuat Hashem Keheraf Ayin, or Yeshuat Chaverim Keheraf Ayin, so to speak, specifically families that without even hesitating invited us with 1 day notice. We are not a small family, as you have come to be aware, and having us for a Rosh Hashanah meal, several, literally saved our Yom Tov and gave us the Yom Tov that we were hoping for that we couldn't do on our own, specifically Azriel and Tali. Thank you, Oded and Yal Stern, who aren't here, Menachem and Abby. Thank you. Yosef Rappaport and family, thank you. Elaine and Ty Froelich, thank you. And everyone else who has and is and will be helping us, because we will need it. Thank you. Well, Yellen and kids, I'll get to you last. A little about Michael Uri. Like I mentioned, your birth was not simple. A lot of things went wrong. And at the very last second, everything was okay. And in a way, this was kind of the exact ending to this year that we needed. A year that felt like it was the opposite of that, where everything seemed fine. We had just finished a period of Yom Noraim, and suddenly everything was not okay. So to finish that year with everything not being okay and suddenly everything being okay felt like exactly what we needed. For Am Yisrael, as well as for our family. I will not get through this that's just how this is going to go. Appreciate your patience. Despite having lots of experience. So, Michael Uri, who is not in the room because Yehuda, his son, is watching him right now. I'd like to just talk to you about the very special person in our family that we lost unexpectedly this year that you will not get to meet. And that is my uncle, my mother's brother, Michael Uri Samter. He is someone that embodied so much of what I would love for you to become. He was in love with learning and with teaching Torah every single day of his life. He was doing both. He was infinitely open and curious about the world, always interested, engaged, was especially interested in what I was up to, and always loved to hear updates from me and really from everyone. It was something I admired about him very much. He was fiercely in love with his family. I think of the word dynasty, of what he was able to build, and how much of his time and care and love and energy and support went into building a beautiful family that is both here and abroad. He was unapologetically himself. He was one of the most authentic people I ever met. He felt no need to compromise or do anything that felt trendy or accepted by the masses. He did what he felt was right. I think he even enjoyed it when it was unpopular, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
He was a leader. He built communities. He built the Oceanside community. He came here and within a few days was building community here. He was a leader as a Shliach Tzibor. He was a leader in teaching children bar mitzvah lessons. He was always building up the people around him. He was a Ben Eretz Yisrael, and as we spoke about several months ago, and possibly his nickname forever now, an Ish Yerushalayim, someone who decided it's time to be in the right place and just got up and left. My first aunt and uncle here, and something that I admired of it was his love for Eretz Yisrael. He was somehow always calm, always balanced. There was never a moment where he seemed frazzled, where he seemed out of sorts. It was like he already knew everything was fine, which is only possible if you have an inner calm as well, which is the result of living side by side with Hashem every day of your life. I so miss that calm. It is so missing in this world, in my world. We could use it now more than ever. But on a personal note, he had this amazing ability to live very comfortably in many different worlds. Wherever he was, he belonged. Whoever he was around, he was already friends with somehow. And that's an amazing midah that I hope this Michael Uri, along with those other midot, I hope you can embody and become and live up to the great name that you have been given. It's still impossible to believe that I'm naming my child after you. You should have been here eating a bagel and celebrating with us. Somewhere over there. But given the situation, I'm incredibly humbled and honored to have a son with your name. Now, my Uncle Michael's name was Michael Uri. And as we consider the name for this child, the circumstances around his birth, the state of the world that he has just entered into, we kept seeing this theme of light come back into the front of our minds, this theme of Or. Those at the Shalom's up for me may remember some of the conversations we had. And because the name Uri and the name Ori is, the difference is only just where you put that little dot. We felt it appropriate that it was the same name except enhanced in some way to refer to the light that Michael Ori is bringing to us and to this world. So let's talk about Ori for a second. Michael Ori were born on Shavuot Shechalbo of Rosh Hashanah, 2 days before the new year. The time that we have the minhag of saying, Perak of Tehillim LaDavid Hashem Ori V'ishi, and as Chazal say, the word Ori is referring to Rosh Hashanah. And why is Ori Rosh Hashanah? Because Rosh Hashanah is a day where suddenly our world becomes clear again. We remember who's in charge. We remember, or we can suddenly see the way light enlightens us. We can suddenly see with clarity what our world really is, and by extension, what our own tafkid is. What is being asked of us here in this world. And it's the perfect way to start a year by having this Or, by having this sudden crystal clarity, by having the lights turn on in our lives to know what is being asked of us, what our mission is in this world. Ori is also the light of the Geula. As the famous Medrash turned into a song says, B'shah shemelech HaMashiach ba omed al gag beis hamikdash u'mashmi'a b'Yisrael ve'omer Anavim higi azman yu'laschem v'im ein atem ma'aminim re'u be'ori shezoreh Shne'amar kumi ori kiva oreh u'kvod Hashem alai tzareh. We are in a world that is so badly in need of a geula that in a way this 24-hour labor is very reminiscent that we experienced, mostly you, Yablok, is very reminiscent of the world that we find ourselves in, that is in labor pains, and that we so desperately want the Leidah of the Geula to come. And it felt fitting that with the introduction of this new person in our life, there was a bit of a geula there for us, and possibly, hopefully, for the whole world as well. We talk about on Pesach, Me'afela L'or Gadol, we sang Achenu Me'afela L'ora. We are in a world of darkness, and Michael Ori, we hope that you represent a light that is about to shine in our lives. It is also especially fitting that Michael Ori was born on the 4th day of creation, Chavchet Elul, Yom Daled L'Briat Ha'olam, the day that which the Shemesh, Yereach, and Kochavim were created, which light was created in this world. The Me'or HaKatan and the Me'or HaGadol, and as we just said upstairs in the Brit Milah, Zeh HaKatan Gadol Yeh, and as the Farshim explained, we're referring to the Me'or HaKatan and the Me'or HaGadol, that just as we start in this world, just as a reflection of light, just receiving light the way the Me'or HaKatan, the moon does, should be Zoka to give off light, to be a mashpia as well. The This was a year of darkness for all of us, a year where we needed Yeshuot and Akamot for our family and for all of Am Yisrael. And Michalori, you represent that light in our world. And we are so happy you're here. Lastly, I'd like to thank my children, you guys. How's the coffee, Gabi? Good. Each of you in your own way have found ways to help us to step up, to bring our family closer together, each in your own way. If we felt like you guys weren't so great, we probably wouldn't keep going. So, Ori is here because we're so proud of the people you have become and are becoming. You bring tremendous nachat to all of us. And we hope that you continue to do so, and just continue on the path that you already are on. Eva and I and our family, we are all incredibly proud of each of you. And to Ayala, my CEO, and Ashira Ruchani, the warrior and protector of our family. I'll stop in a second. Your dedication to our family is inspiring. It's almost superhuman. It is the entirety of your being. It is you. I don't think it's clear where our family ends and where you begin. It is all one thing. We would all be lost without you, and I mean that literally because on Rosh Hashanah I lost our kids twice. And I only barely found them. Thank you for this wonderful family, for this thing that we're building, this experiment. You should continue to have nachas from the children that you are raising, and that we are raising. Lastly, thank you to everyone for taking time out of your busy day and week. We hope this is the first of many smachot that we could celebrate together this year. Thank you, Rowan Leah, for coming, by the way, representing everyone. May it be a year of Or, may it be a year of Simcha, may it be a year of Geula for all of us.
Mazel tov. Ari, beautiful.
Yeah, I turned it up.
Never think about a career in the rap. Everything.
We booked for the 14th. They're arriving 14th. I'm usually late. So funny.
Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful.